I in particular just took the absolute piss.
Yeah.
To the point where I was like, this is just stupid.
Yeah.
And it had a good cliffhanger, but like the last, I was so bored for like 4 episodes.
But it doesn't matter, man. All the characters are hot as fuck.
But like, yeah,
according to the fan base.
They make these characters, and like, I like some of the characters in the show, but my God, are so many of them insufferable. And like, I just, I mean, I like the show. I thought it was good, but fuck, man, I felt like it blew its load, and then it just like.
Is it even over? Is it even over?
No,
it's not over, is it?
No, it's not over.
It's not. And I feel like where they left it was pretty good, and it might pick up, but like, it just felt like every single time something happened, it was like, oh my God, there's more. Oh my God, there's more.
I don't know. Like, I know this is gonna sound really unfair, and this is totally my bias, but like, I think I only managed to make it through like the first 2 or 3 episodes because I immediately saw what kind of theming they were going for with the story. You know, like just like a bunch of dudes, just like fighting. You know,
it is weird as well.
Good stuff, but I hate the fact that the moment I knew where the story was heading, in my head I was immediately just like, I'd just rather read Baki, to be honest. Like,
I was kind of pissed off as well that like all of these kids are like 13, 14.
Yeah.
I was like, why not? Why? Just make them 17. It would make this story so much more...
But isn't it weird that you felt that...
Make so much more sense.
But here's the thing. Isn't it weird that you felt that about that show, and yet you see Hanayama Koda, who's 14 years old, you're like, perfectly understandable. Have a nice day.
Because for some reason, it checks out. Like, I'm like,
it's so weird how it checks out, though.
I don't doubt it, right?
Yeah.
Because Baki never asks me once to like actually believe this world is a real world. It just completely is like, listen, bro. This is literally like the equivalent of an internet forum like debate where you're like, can Goku beat Saitama? Like that is Baki. I mean, like it never once asks you to be invested in this world.
That's true.
Whereas like Tokyo Revengers for me felt like it was trying to get me to get invested in the gangs and the culture and stuff. And it's like, but at the same time, how are you gonna make me believe that this is how 13-year-old and 14-year-olds react? That they drive by motorcycles, they do all this shit, and it's like, they're willing to like rob and kill each other. Listen. If you make these kids 18, they can still be in school. All of this would still make sense. And it's like, just do that. Why?
Well, that's like basically 90% of anime where it's like they don't need to be that age because nobody their age actually acts like that.
This is one where I actually felt like it was to a massive detriment that they were like super young. And every single plot
because
point
it just
in this
made it
story,
unbelievable.
Not so unbelievable, but like it made it so to the fact that you're like, it's constantly asking you to just have this level of disbelief, to give it like, okay, I guess this is how 14-year-olds would react and respond to this situation, and it's like, just add on 4 years. They're still in school. This can work in college. It all still works. The universe totally works.
It can work when you're an adult as well.
And now they can ride motorcycles, no question about it. This is in Japan. No one is breaking the law in Japan. People don't even like... The only law they break is stealing umbrellas. That's literally it. That's all they do. They don't do that. That's all they do.
Yeah, pretty much.
No one is gonna. How the fuck are they gonna get a motorcycle at 13?
I feel like when I the last time I felt that, like when I felt like the characters just weren't acting their age at all, was when I watched Erase.
I was gonna say, I knew
Erase was just like, man, these 5-year-olds. How old were they? Like 5, 6,
They're like 9.
They're like 9-year-olds acting like 3.
They're like, yes, using the forms of relativity and quantum mechanics, we can actually predict when we will re-enter into space-time continuum.
They were like more capable than like veteran detectives in the force and all this shit, and I'm just like, bro, these are like 9-year-olds and they're acting like grown adults.
That's why I just couldn't get into Erase. There's the exact same thing where I'm like, this 9-year-old like girl is like solving mysteries that like fucking 30-year veterans couldn't fucking crack.
I know we've ranted about this before and stuff, and that we've talked all about the age and stuff, and I do understand that like a lot of shows I don't give a fuck. Like it's totally fine.
It's fiction. It's whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like again, there are some shows like Erase where I feel like doing this is just completely to the detriment of the show, and it makes you suspend belief beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's a lot of
one of the shows where I'm like, this is just stupid.
I mean, like, there's also like Your Lie in April as well, where a big thing that took me out of the show is like I feel like they were in middle seasons. I think they're 14, 15, but like everyone talks like a fucking poet. You know, everyone.
The writing needs to match the age.
Yeah, yeah.
That shit, I don't give a shit if you put him in the school.
Yeah.
You got to write 13-year-olds like 13-year-olds.
Dude,
You can't.
Corsair was talking like fucking Mozart was back then, you know, and it's like, dude, you're 15. When I was 15, all I was thinking about was poo poo pee pee. Like,
That's all I think about now.
that's
I'm
all I think
25.
about now. You know, so you are way more sophisticated than you should be for a 15.
Yeah.
Same
Like
level.
this guy like came out of the womb speaking in sonnets and all this shit. Like he was studying Shakespeare by the age of 3. Like my god, like that took me out so much. And it was a small thing, but it was just like you could have easily made them at a higher age to make them feel like they were, you know, they had the ability to speak like this. But it was just they were 14 years old, and that was the biggest thing that worried.
It's annoying because sometimes it shows where like they write the characters like 17-year-olds, they act and talk like 17-year-olds, they behave like 17-year-olds. Why not just make them fucking 17?
That's why I think to this day the most perfect example of like a perfectly aged and, you know, characters acting age appropriate in a super realistic way was Golden Time, because it was like they were in college and yet they were super immature, like most college students are. You know, like that's
like
a
a show.
realistic character. And that's
I
why
love Golden Time.
and that's why that show was so good and it was so immersive, because it's like, I know people who are like this in
It's
college.
such a breath of fresh air to have something in college.
Yeah.
But they were
College
acting
student.
more like high school students than most high school students were, you know, in other shows. And it's like, that's so fucking ironic.
Yeah, like that's what I feel like. That's why to me, even now, Golden Time is like one of my favorite romances
Golden Time.
in all of
Absolute
anime.
banger.
Just because it actually felt like these were believable characters set in a world that felt like it was based in reality, and not in this anime world where 15-year-olds are like,
15-year-olds are doing quantum physics,
yeah,
you know?
15-year-olds are doing quantum physics. Like fucking, I mean, you look at fucking like Naruto and Sasuke, like they.
Hunter x Hunter was another one where I felt like they got the characters' ages, like it actually reflected their personality. You know?
Yeah.
Like Gon was an idiot, but like a lovely idiot. Like he would like be convinced to do stuff by strangers, like a 12
like a child.
like a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
no one over the age of 18 is hanging out with Hisoka. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest.
For good reason.
For good
reason.
Because everyone can tell he's a creep. But
For their
Gon
own
is like,
protection.
Gon's like, oh, he's talking to me. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll talk back. You know, I mean, like, I appreciate it when shows like actually treat the characters like their age.
Yeah, no, because
pissed
like,
me off.
because like a lot of people, like for example Naruto, like a lot of people forget that like in the OG Naruto, they're like
He's like 10.
they're 11 and 12 years old.
Yeah.
and like you look at some of the shit they go through, like Sasuke's like trying to revenge his entire fucking clan at the age of 11. 11. He's
Bro,
he's
hey,
doing that, right?
This man's listening to too much My Chemical Romance.
Right,
dude.
right,
Like,
right.
Get off that shit.
I'm
No,
gonna,
fucking hell.
I'll avenge my fucking Big Mac if someone slaps it out of my hand when I'm 11. So I believe that actually. I was a very petty.
Most
11-year-old.
realistic character.
I don't know, man. I just kind of wish that it would change a little bit. And you know, and that was one of the main reasons why I was a bit harsh on Tokyo Revengers, and that's why I got more annoyed with it, because it felt like it was just getting stupid right now.
I mean, I don't know if I'm just like fucking. I've just seen so much anime that I'm just like immune to this shit. But just like it's very rare that a character's age really comes into like any kind of specific plot point or any bearing on the plot itself, because there's no like. It's so hard to tell a character's age in anime based on just their looks and their actions, because the range of anime characters from like 13 to fucking 28, they all look the same and they all act the same. It's almost like
kind of like
impossible to
Japanese
tell.
people.